can I give you a random thought experiment? I want to run something by your mind. I want you to think. I want you to ponder about something. Ponder about an idea that I recently had. An idea that was completely intrusive. Something that, like, I didn't actively try to concoct. It was an idea that just popped in my head, and I want to run it by you. So I'm going to run it by you. Alright? On go. 3, 2, 1... Go. Osama bin Dahmer. Osama bin Dahmer. Now, if you couldn't pick up on the context clues that I just threw before you, Osama bin Dahmer relates to a combination of Osama bin Laden and Jeffrey Dahmer. Those two worlds collide. That is the idea that I just presented before you. What is your opinion on that? What is your opinion on that? Do you think that if you lived in a world where Osama bin Dahmer lived, do you think you'd survive? Would you talk to him? Would you interact with him? Would you run away from him? Would you fight him? What would you do in relationship with Osama bin Dahmer? He almost seems like an indestructible force. Two of the worst people. Well, two of the worst people. I don't know. Is Osama bin... I don't know. Osama bin Laden and Jeffrey Dahmer, they were pretty bad guys. You know, pretty bad guys, but were they the worst? Were they really the worst? Are we gonna say they're the worst, or could you think of a couple of worse people? Some might argue Adolf. Some might say Adolf takes the cake. Some might say Joseph Stalin takes the cake. Or hell, maybe you're a Ted Bundy guy. John Wayne Gacy, all those horrible people. Ed Gein, that's a sick fuck. I've spoken about him on this YouTube channel before. He's done some horrible things. I mean, there are pretty awful people, I guess. But, like, taking Osama bin Laden and Jeffrey Dahmer and fusing them into one being, that's still a pretty horrible combination. That's still a pretty horrible combination. Oh, you know what? As a matter of fact, who do you think wins in a fight? Who would you say wins in a fight? Osama bin Dahmer or Martin Luther Gandhi? Who do you think wins in that fight? Martin Luther Gandhi or Osama bin Dahmer? Are you a positive Perry or a negative Nancy? Who are you saying is going to win? You know what? I'm gonna be a ray of sunshine today. I'm gonna say that Martin Luther Gandhi wins that fight. The battle of inherent good versus the battle of inherent evil. But honestly, you know, let's just imagine those two got into a fight, right? You ought to think that maybe like it would probably be close, because Martin Luther Gandhi, he's like a really nice person, right? Like, people love him. All he's ever seen is sunshine and rainbows, but then one day he just gets exposed to Osama bin Dahmer, and like, it's a bunch of, like, I don't know, like, half-eaten people attached to a bomb that, like, maybe Osama bin Dahmer... I don't know. The only reason I said that... I just said that Osama bin Dahmer showed Martin Luther Gandhi a bunch of half-eaten people attached to a bomb, and the only reason I said that was because I know that Jeffrey Dahmer, he eats people, right? And Osama bin Laden's notoriously known for bombs and planes. Okay, how about this? A bunch of half-eaten people in planes. So, Osama bin Dahmer traps Martin Luther Gandhi in a plane with a bunch of half-eaten people. So, Now you have Martin Luther Gandhi, a man who he lives in gumdrop land, sunshine and rainbows. He's cinnamon spice and everything nice. He's only seen the inherent good in this world. Now all of a sudden he's been exposed to all this death and decay. And in front of him, no, you know what, am I gonna go, I was about to go in detail about 9/11, but I don't know what YouTube thinks about that. I don't know what YouTube really thinks about that. I'm gonna withhold on getting in depth. I mean, I think this topic's pretty bad, but I was about to get into detail about the actual events of 9/11, but I'll withhold. I'll withhold the graphic detail out of respect for potential guidelines. But okay, let's just put us back in the plane for a second. We're back in the plane. Okay, back in economy. Back in the economy class. So here's Martin Luther Gandhi, and he's surrounded by a bunch of these half-eaten people. These half-eaten people, they're screaming. They're like, oh my God, where did the other half of my body go? I swear it was just here a second ago. It's gone now. I think someone ate it. So all these people are screaming. Martin Luther Gandhi's like, wait, what the fuck? What the hell is going on here? I am not supposed to be here. And he's like, oh, this is horrible. The blood, the chaos, the agony. I've never seen anything like it. Like I said, he's only seen greatness. He's only seen, like, the life he's lived is like a equivalent to a life in heaven, right? That's just who he is. So he's probably shocked. And then out of the cockpit comes Osama bin Dahmer, and he's like, I ate these people, Martin. I ate these people, and now I'm gonna eat you. That's what he says. He comes out of the cockpit. He says, I'm gonna eat you now. So now Martin Luther Gandhi, he's a little bit terrified, but he's not gonna fret. You know what? He's fretted for long enough. He's seen all these people. He's not gonna get himself gassed up. He's gonna stay composed, hold his composure, stand his ground, be the immovable object that he has always been. And they have a standoff, and they stare at each other in the eyes for just a couple of seconds to get a read on their opponents. And then they charge, Osama bin Dahmer, he opens his mouth ready to feast because he's hungry, he's a cannibal. But then Martin Luther Gandhi, he says, no, he punches him in the gut. He punches him in the gut, and it drops Osama bin Dahmer to the ground. He's like, oh my God. That fucking hurt. That was horrible. That was horrible, Martin. Why would you do that to me? I thought you were good. Now that Osama bin Dahmer, now that Osama's hurt, he's trying to play the manipulation card now. He's trying to make Martin feel for him, trying to get him to help him out so that he could take advantage. He's trying to pull manipulation. But Martin was smarter than that. Martin Luther Gandhi, he was always smarter than that. So, as Osama bin Dahmer's like, please, please, I'll do anything. Martin Luther Gandhi, he just, he slaps some handcuffs on him. Because Martin Luther Gandhi, he doesn't kill people. He's not a killer. He's not a natural-born killer. He does everything by the books. So he slaps the handcuffs on Osama bin Dahmer. And he throws him in a high-security prison. And, of course, he lands the plane. Martin Luther Gandhi, he knows how to fly planes, alright? He knows how to do that stuff. He went to Flight Academy. He knows what he's doing. So he lands the plane. Let's just say he lands the plane at some Georgia airport, and then he takes Osama bin Dahmer to a high security prison where Osama lives out the rest of his days, and that's how the story ends. So Martin Luther Gandhi wins. Pretty happy situation. Everyone's cheering. But yeah, that's the story. So, anyways, thank you for your time.